actually share our testimony along with that scripture, why it's personal to us, that helps bring in the Spirit a lot better.
When I feel the Spirit the strongest is when people do get up and they share their own personal experience. I mean, even right now, just because we're here sharing everything, I can just feel the Spirit so strong, and it's influencing me right now.
I like the Spirit I felt when I left. A lot of the time just reading the scriptures in class, and I wanted that every day at school.
When we're reading scriptures, sometimes the Spirit just talks to you and tells you what to say or what to write. And I always like to keep a brief thought of what I was thinking at the time.
I like when they give us, a couple scriptures that we need to look at, and then we get to sit down by ourselves and look at it, because the Spirit's already here, He's in this building, and so my personal time, in my scriptures where He tells me, what I should be looking for, and the Spirit is teaching me directly, and I think those are really important times for me.
It's because we're the teachers too. We're teachers and students. We've all got to help contribute to that, so we teach each other.
I think it's more or less the little things that get you to feel the Spirit, like someone singing a little louder, you're raising your hand to have a comment.
The best institute experiences that I've had are the ones where the teacher comes with the approach of he's trying to learn too. We're all learning together as a group, and it kind of changes the atmosphere.
Every day at the starting of class, we have a scripture sharing time where we get up and we get to share a scripture that we had liked from the last time that we had class that we had read. And I just like to do that because then we get to hear really cool scriptures that people have liked. And so, I don't know, that also motivates me to want to read my scriptures too, so that I can try and find scriptures that I want to share with everyone else. So
when you read your scriptures beforehand, you're able to come up with your own conclusions and your own insights, and then when you get to class, everybody has different ones, and you're all able to share those, and you get so many different perspectives.
One of my favorite things has been the devotionals we've had and the sharing, because when we started to share scripture insights, the scriptures meant more to everybody, I think. Me in my life, there's been times that I've actually had prayers answered from what other people have said when they've shared scriptures they read and what it meant to them the night before. When other people share, it helps me to understand the scriptures better, and when I share, it means more to me. I can be more passionate about the scriptures.
2 years ago I was inactive, and I always heard in seminary to read your scriptures and pray, and I didn't know why a book that can be so powerful just change your life. And so I started reading and praying for 3 weeks, and then I had to start getting to church, and that's when my bishop called me to become a priest. Ever since then I've always read the scriptures and prayed, and I can testify that they are true and that they can change your life.
He asked me to read my scriptures, and I looked at him like, scriptures? No, what's that? This is supposed to be release time. I'm not supposed to do anything. And he told me to get a Book of Mormon and to read that every night. And now I'm dependent on that. And the scriptures have become a haven. That's where I go when I need my help. That's where I go to feel my Heavenly Father.
Seminary, as we memorize the scriptures, we take tests on some of them, and as we've been taking the tests, we've also had to explain the scripture, and so as we've been memorizing it, we've been understanding the scripture better, and so I think that that's helped me to understand the scriptures, and then where I can apply them and how they relate to other things.
If I find my own principle, I receive my own personal revelation, and I understand what I need to about that scripture.
We ain't gonna be alone, and we're gonna find an answer on our own, and he's showing us how to do that right now through searching for principles. And like I said, he's not gonna always be there following us throughout our lives to say, that's what that means, so we have to learn how to find it on our own.
When Sam came in with his questions, he's reading through scripture and he found the gem, and he's like, well, I don't get what this means, and then everybody like pitched in until he found out the question or the answer to his question. And when he did, he's happy and went home and told his dad. And it's like math class. If the math teacher tells you, you don't learn. So if we pitch in and try and help each other, we learn more.
If we find scriptures and principles by ourselves, then there'll be ones that really mean something to us.
It just gives me a sense of accomplishment because some things in the scriptures I have trouble relating to or understanding, and just little gems that I can look and see. I just like, oh, okay, I get that now, and it just helps me remember more and understand it better.
The Spirit is a lot more prevalent and here with me when we not only scratch the surface of a subject, but we delve deep into the scriptures and get things out of it we'd never gotten out of it before.
My seminary teachers taught me the proper way to like study scriptures and how to, find things that I needed in the scriptures. So every time that I find something new or something, that like I've been needing, it's just like a birthday present. It's just really exciting.
Sometimes when they share their feelings, they mention struggles that they've had or times when they've doubted the gospel and how they found out that it was true. And you go, I'm not the only one in this world that has ever doubted, and so I won't be the only one who's ever received an answer.
I like reading the stories and the scriptures and stuff that are 1,000 years old and stuff, but it's nice hearing people's modern day things because these are the big things that happen through time, but it's nice to hear everyone's little big things that have happened in their lives with their own personal feelings, and it shows that like they really take the gospel to heart.
One thing that reminds me of is how it speaks of the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses in the scriptures. How that as another person bears testimony to the same thing, it gains more power. It's nice to have your teacher tell you something, but it gives it another affirmation when one of your friends says the same thing, in the same way that you might have been thinking it.
I think a lot of it is feeling kind of a sense of companionship with people you see every day and knowing that you're not the only one that feels that way or struggling with a certain aspect. It's good to hear that other people have testimonies and are going through the same things, and you can learn from each other.
In the world today, there's so much negative peer pressure, and it's good to have a source of positive peer pressure, just to see all your friends and know that there are other people trying to do their best too.
When others share their testimony, I feel the Spirit, and that strengthens my testimony, and it just makes me want to be better.
Sometimes when you participate and you open your mouth, you open the gate to the Spirit, and He can speak through you. He will teach you things when you're willing to write things down. New things will come to you.
While we may be, in some ways on the same level, we're all from different backgrounds. We've all gone through different things. And so we all have different experiences that we can draw from and share with the class.
I've noticed in our classes that we hardly ever work alone. We always have a partner or our quad to work in. And then we get to share scriptures or thoughts and feelings back and forth. And there's sometimes even chances when we get up in front of the class and share things. And so I think that that's helped, just working with people and learning different ways to explain what you're feeling and thinking about your scriptures.
I think it's exciting when you learn something, and then when you share it with somebody else, there's a spirit that comes with sharing that, and then when you share something you've learned, it helps your testimony build on that subject. So instead of just having found it and then that was cool and passed over, when you share it, the spirit bears testimony of it, and you really know the truthfulness of it by sharing it.
As you teach somebody else, it also becomes a learning experience for you. So as you're teaching one-on-one, you could be asking each other questions and stuff, and even though you're teaching each other, as you're asking each other questions, you're thinking about it, and it's going through your mind a lot more.
When you bear your testimony to one person, you develop a bond with that one person, and you watch out for them wherever they are, and they watch out for you.
As our stake was doing the Stake Youth Missionary Program, we used that Preach My Gospel book to teach the families that we went to. And every lesson we did, at least one scripture mastery came up in every one of them.
I've played sports, and a lot of the time when you're gone, there's a lot of sarcasm that goes toward the church, and there's not a lot of members of the church on your team. And
Romans 1:16, it's, for I'm not ashamed of the gospel of Christ. You know, that's really struck me. You're not ashamed of it. You stand up for it.
When I talk to my friends who are not of my faith, they also believe the Bible. And when I have those key scriptures, I am better able to explain my beliefs to them.
The scripture mastery, they're so beneficial, especially in missionary opportunities. They have a lot of the answers to the questions that people ask. Now we have them ready, and we can show people that we know what we're all about.
I know that the things that we learn here really does change lives. It's changed mine, and I know that I will never be the same because of the things that I've learned.
We're helping our faith to grow so it can stand on its own. It's marvelous.